Skylines tells the story of Earth being invaded by aliens who harvest the brains of humans and place them inside alien bodies they call pilots. The heroine's story begins during this invasion. Rose was born just after the first attack. Her father was taken away by the aliens before she was born, and her mother tragically passed away shortly after giving birth to her. Luckily, a detective looking for his son found Rose as an infant. Rose's birth was affected by the invasion, and as a result, the child grew up at a rate faster than a regular human. She was also born with the ability to interact with alien technology. As Rose grew older, she worked alongside her adopted brother, Trent, who had been transformed into a pilot, to stop the alien invasion. This eliminated the threat of human extinction and released the pilots from alien control. However, Rose faced a difficult choice and ended up sacrificing thousands of her own soldiers to achieve victory. Following this, she disappeared, fearing persecution by the authorities. 5 years later, there's an old man named Grant. He's telling people about Rose in a camp near London. Rose was hiding there too, but nobody knew. When soldiers came to find her, the people in the camp wouldn't tell them where she was. This helped Rose escape without the soldiers seeing her. Rose travels to London, where she faces the challenge of using her powers, which accelerates her aging. To control these effects, she regularly injects herself with normal blood. Rose's trip to London is all about meeting the doctor who helps her deal with the side effects of her powers. But when Rose gets to London, she faces a new problem. Dr. Mal is fighting a strange virus. It's making pilots lose their minds and act in a way that are far from human. No one can figure out where the virus came from, but Dr. Mal is trying to find a cure. Are the aliens trying to take over their pilot bodies again? Or is someone else behind this mysterious virus? Well, let's find out. The soldiers hunting for Rose tracked her down to Dr. Mal's hospital. Rose resists and attempts to break free, but one of the sick pilots loses its mind. In her effort to shield the disturbed pilot from them, Rose ends up being captured by the soldiers. As Rose is escorted to the army base, she finds out that the real reason for her being there is not what she anticipated. Once they arrive, she's immediately taken to meet General Radford, who reveals that they need her unique power for a special mission. He reveals that the pilots are changing back to their initial biology, causing them to become aggressive towards humans. To stop it, Rose needs to go to the aliens' home planet named Cobalt-1 and recover a core drive that's able to fix every pilot on Earth for a duration of 100 years. Rose accepts the mission and is then introduced to her fellow crew members. The team comprises of General Radford, who will be leading the mission, G in charge of navigation, Violet as a pilot, and soldiers Colonel Owens, Leon, and Alexei. During her mission, Rose reunites with her pilot brother Trent. They take a moment together to think back on their father, who went missing after the defeat of the aliens 5 years ago. During the mission debrief, Rose realizes that the general has no actual data about Cobalt-1. A probe was sent before, but they never retrieved any data from it and have never traveled far through a wormhole. But since they only have 72 hours to rescue London from the pilot epidemic, Rose agrees to go on the mission. What could possibly go wrong? After completing their preparations, Rose and her team begin their expedition to Cobalt-1. As they undergo the wormhole jump, they find themselves confined to specially constructed rooms to mitigate the risk of being pulled into the outer wall and becoming one with it. Unsafe, but exciting, right? Back on Earth, we see London being quarantined because of the pilot infection. Most of the people are being evacuated out of London, including those at the camp outside, but Grant decides not to evacuate and stays at the camp. He is then joined by Dr. Mal and a girl named Kate, who refuses to leave the camp even after Grant tells her it will be dangerous to stay. Dr. Mal has sneaked in a patient called Juana to continue working on her serum. Juana's infection has made him a normal-looking human with the hands of a pilot. Grant takes them in, and the doctor continues her work in the camp. Rose and the team arrive at Cobalt-1, but are not met with an army of alien pilots like they expected. Even after they land, the planet looks empty. Closer to the drive, the team gets attacked by mysterious shadow monsters. As they fight, they figure out the monsters are actually corrupted pilots. The question comes up, What actually happened on this planet? As the situation on Earth worsens, the infected pilots leave London and attack the camp where Grant and Dr. Mal are. The pilots eliminate the few humans around, and Grant loses his life fighting them. Grieving the death of Grant, Kate and Dr. Mal team up to fight the pilots. Back on Cobalt 1, Rose and the team are outnumbered by the Shadows. Alexei gets lethally injured during the fight, so she blows herself up, sacrificing her life and taking the monsters with her so the mission can succeed. The survivors reach their destination, while General Redford, Violet, and G wait for them back on the ship. In the next scene, we see Rose, Leon, Trent, and Colonel Owens. They have located the core drive they were looking for in a destroyed enemy ship, and Rose comes into play. Rose uses her power to lock the drive so that they can carry it, but before the team can retrieve the drive, it falls deeper into the ship. And to make matters worse, locking the core corrupted Rose's mind, turning her to the side of the aliens. Rose attacks the team and then also jumps deeper into the ship. Colonel Owens is ready to abort the mission after the dramatic turn of events, but Trent won't leave without his sister, so he goes after her regardless of the Colonel's orders. Deep in the ship, Trent faces a number of enemies, with his sister Rose among them since her mind is under the aliens' control. Trent is able to fight them all, but one of the alien marauders, who appears to be the leader, overpowers him. Seeing her brother in danger, Rose breaks out of the mind control and uses her power to save Trent. Her power has become stronger, and it no longer causes her to age. So Trent and Rose carry the drive and return to the rest of the team. Colonel Owens betrays the team while they are returning to the ship. After locking Rose, Trent, and Leon inside the enemy spacecraft, he injects Trent with the virus afflicting Earth pilots and uses the core drive to lift off. It appears that General Redford had this planned out from the start. However, what might his true intentions be? Leon and Rose encounter trouble on their way back to the ship as the shadow monsters launch another attack. The situation escalates when Trent, losing his sanity, turns hostile and attacks Leon and Rose. Rose takes the lead and seizes control of an alien vehicle, a harvester, to assist Leon in subduing the shadows and rescuing Trent. United, they head toward the ship. Meanwhile, Colonel Owens returns to the ship and presents the core drive to the general. G becomes suspicious as Owens is the sole survivor. While G helps Owens with his injuries, he finds out about the betrayal, and things get tense. Owens tries to silence G, but G successfully defends himself and locks Owens outside of his lab. In the meantime, Rose and Leon venture across the planet and stumble upon a massive crater. Shockingly, the probe initially dispatched to collect data on Cobalt 1 was, in fact, a bomb, whose explosion led to the corruption of the pilots, transforming them into shadows. Contrary to expectations, the General intended to obliterate Cobalt 1, and the core drive proved quite efficient in executing this plan. Once the core is loaded, the General initiates the takeoff, but the alien leader boards the ship just before departure. Once in orbit, Redford blows up Cobalt 1. Rose and Leon employ the alien vehicle to leap onto the General's ship, successfully boarding it before it leaves orbit. Upon entering, they confront General Redford. Unfortunately, Redford shoots Leon, leaving Rose powerless as she had expended most of her abilities to control the alien vehicle. The General's intentions to destroy the alien invaders comes to light. He had orchestrated the destruction of Cobalt 1 from the start. Following this, his plan unfolded to destroy all the pilots on Earth once his initial objective was achieved. Redford was responsible for the virus attacking the Earth's pilots, and the disappearance of Rose's father, who opposed Redford's plans. Rose and Leon release the infected Trent, who attacks the General, but Redford also has a pilot fighting on his side, and that's Violet. Owens arrives and engages in a battle with Rose and Leon. The odds seem to be in favor of General Redford until the unexpected entry of the alien marauder at the end of the fight. The alien splits Redford in half and reveals that it plans to destroy Earth as revenge for the destruction of Cobalt 1. Rose orders Violet to head to the bridge and lock the room they're in, and then a whole nother battle against the vengeful alien begins. Rose uses her power to fight the alien, and at the exact moment, Leon is still fighting Trent, trying to set his mind straight from the virus corruption. As the fight continues, Violet takes the ship into a wormhole and back to Earth. As mentioned earlier, earlier, certain areas of the ship are considered unsafe during the ship's journey through a wormhole, and the room where Rose and Leon are located happens to be one of those areas. We see Colonel Owens getting pulled towards the outer wall and disappearing because the ship is moving very fast. Rose, Leon, and the alien enemy hold on to the ship so they don't get pulled to the outer wall too. But the alien is trying to kill Rose and her team, so it shoots out tentacles that grab onto Rose's leg. Trent recovers his memory when he sees his sister in danger, and in that moment, he lets go of his hold and jumps onto the enemy, sacrificing himself to die with the enemy as long as his sister is safe. The alien is completely destroyed, and Trent's body starts melting into the outer wall, but Rose uses her power to rescue Trent before his whole body is destroyed. After the battle, Rose, Leon, Violet, and G return to Earth. In London, things are not going too well. Dr. Mal and Kate were able to clear all the pilots in the camp. They also got help from Juana, who got better after taking Dr. Mal's serum. But even after they clear the camp, more pilots swarm from London. This time, the pilots attack in a number so large that the three could never hope to defeat them. Luckily, Rose's ship arrives just in time before the pilots attack the camp. The pilots are beamed into the ship, and Rose reunites with Dr. Mal. Together, they work to cure the infected pilots. Finally, after the pilots are cured and the worst has been resolved on Earth, we see Rose, a fixed-up Trent, Leon, and Violet on the ship heading to their new mission. Their destination? A secret prison that Redford was controlling. A prison where Rose and Trent's father are being held. What did you think of this movie? Be sure to invade the comment section below and let us know. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss our next recap. Thanks for watching.